Talking about rock, we're bringing you rock interviews from around the globe. I'm your host, Rob Edwards. Our shows are always available wherever you get your podcasts. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. Follow us on our social media and our website, talkaboutrock.com. On this episode, we'll be speaking with Sammy Lee, the founder and drummer of Red Rain. Formed in the summer of 2013 in Richmond, Virginia. The lineup consists of singer-guitarist Carlton Bubble McMichael, guitarist Stevie Shred, bassist Larry Moore, and Sammy Lee on drums. They've just released their third single, No Peace, No Love, from the forthcoming album, Don't Look Back, due out on October 27th from DEKO Entertainment. Next up, Sammy Lee of Red Rain on Talking About Rock. Okay, we now have with us Sammy Lee of Red Rain. Hello, Sammy. Welcome to Talking About Rock.
Hey, Robert, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Great. Yeah, glad you could make it for us here. So I wanted to go through a little bit of history with you guys. We know you're here to talk about the new album, Don't Look Back, out on October 27th. But I want to give our listeners a little bit of background on you folks if they may not be aware. So you guys came out with a self-titled EP in 2016. And you worked on that with Grammy Award-nominated multi-platinum producer David Ivory.
That's correct.
Tell us about hooking up with him.
A wonderful experience, to be honest with you. But David came on in about 2016. We got his name through our publicist, Chip Ruggieri of Chipster PR. Got on a phone call with David the first time we ever spoke to him, and it just fit right away. And he's just great to work with. I've said many times, he doesn't change your ideas, he just makes them better. So we were very fortunate to bring him on, and it's been a great relationship for the first two albums.
Yeah, excellent. You guys have shared the stage with Dokken, Extreme, Jackal, Lita Ford, and Tesla. But I was also reading you also did some shows with Quiet Riot and the late Frankie Medali. That had to be amazing as well.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Got to actually sit and talk to Frankie. We opened for Quiet Riot twice. Red Rain has, and the first time with Frankie, the second time without, unfortunately. But just a nice guy. Sat and talked to him for about 5 minutes and wished us the best. And it's just very sad what happened, and we were sad we didn't get to play with him again. So great experience.
Yeah, he's always had such a great relationship with his fans, and I know everyone misses him dearly. So that was so cool. You guys got to hook up with them and do that. So for the new album here, we talked about a little bit a minute ago for Don't Look Back. You guys are working with David again on this.
That's true.
So he came back and did the tracks again for you guys because it just fit so well, like you were saying. Yeah,
it was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, you stick with what works, and the EP really. It's funny, we joke with David because David brought up the joke. The EP took a ride for almost 5.5 years. We toured behind it, we played shows behind it, and I use the term fortunate, but it's not. Obviously, COVID stopped the world, and unfortunately, people got sick and people lost their lives, which is completely unfortunate. But to kind of switch over to the music world, it gave us a breather to write new material, which we weren't able to do when everything just kind of shut down. So, which helped the band, not the world, but helped the band.
Yeah, and that seems to be the story from so many artists. They weren't playing gigs, so they're like, okay, let's work on material, let's write some stuff, maybe put some stuff in the can or whatever. So maybe we'll have it down the road or whatever. But a good time to work on ideas. Definitely, I think that's the only plus that came out of any of this for sure.
I was going to say the only plus, which there's so many negatives, obviously, but yes, in a musical world, not life in general, in a musical world, it gave us a breather to sit down and fine tune some of the demos that we had sent to David. So yes, and it gave us a chance to write a full length album. We were kind of contemplating on maybe doing another EP, but the full length album just really was our goal. But what at one point was not sure for some songs were ready, but that's what David's good at and helped us move along the songs that we have on the album. So
not only did you have him, but you also got George Lynch on the track, Don't Look Back, also playing with George you guys, which is amazing on that track. You can tell that's him playing. He has such a style, right? And the swagger, I would kind of almost say, to it, you know.
We were very fortunate, you know, and it's funny too. It's a long story, and I won't bore with the details of the long story. But our good friends over at Classic Metal Show, Chris Aiken and Neely, really helped facilitate that. They're friends with the Dokken camp and George, and helped facilitate that. Neely and I were the only ones that knew about George. Didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell the band. I didn't tell anybody. You know, and when you're doing this, and unfortunately, again, like a life event where everything had shut down and you're trying to get back to where you were, we needed a splash, and that was the splash we needed. And very, very lucky that we had some friends who knew him and could ask him, and very, very fortunate that he said yes, and he was very gracious about everything.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be a great guy to work with lately. I know early in the 80s, he seemed to be a little more difficult. We had him on the show here about a month ago or so. He's working on another project. But yeah, it's definitely hearing a lot of positives all the way around about George lately. So that's just great.
Very, you know, and I'm a drummer, you know, so but to have George Lynch, you know, you're as excited as you know, if Neil Peart was on the album, you know. I mean, it's just Peart, excuse me. But so just we were very fortunate.
Very, very cool. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll check out the latest single you guys got out, No Peace, No Love, from the forthcoming album, Don't Look Back, out on October 27th from Red Rain. I'll be right back here on Talking About Rock.
No peace, no love, 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 no peace, no love. Talk to me, child. Let me give my love to you. Hold me close like you never wanna do. You can't go now that you're here. Let me give it all. No peace, no love, no peace, no love, no peace, no love, no peace, no love. Oh, no love. Always crying, you can never tell the truth. Quit your whining, can't you see you got me fooled? All you do. You can't go now that you're here. Let me give it all. No peace, no love, no peace, no love. Oh yeah. No love, no peace, no love. Can't you let it go? Just 'cause you don't know. But you're wrong again, wrong again, wrong again. Oh yeah. No peace, no love, no peace, no love, no peace, no love, no peace, no yeah. No peace, no, 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 no. No peace, no love, oh yeah. No peace, no love, 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 no peace, no love.
Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock with Sammy Lee from Red Rain. Just checked out the track there for No Peace, No Love. Good stuff, man. I really like the tracks. I got a chance to listen to a little bit of it within the last week or so. very, very cool stuff. But I always like to ask drummers, and sometimes you get the different answer. I always like to ask, what were your drummer influences? Did you have a couple different ones? Did you have like the main standby guys, or what was it? What was it for you?
Well, if you know me, you get tired of the answer, and the answer is always for me, Alex Van Halen.
Really? Okay.
Alex Van Halen.
That wasn't the answer I would expect, but yeah,
Really?
he's definitely, I think he was a lot overshadowed for a while. I think more people now realize it than did back then. You know what I mean?
Sure. But I'm a Van Halen fan. I mean, like that's my band. That's it. Old school, the original Van Halen, as I like to say. But Alex Van Halen just the drumming is phenomenal. And I agree with you. I think not only is he overshadowed, I think he's overlooked by a lot of people in the business. And I don't understand it. And again, music is subjective. I get it. And everybody has their own opinion. I get it.
Right.
But when you see these polls, he's like 50 or 60. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way, Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do rock drummers, he's definitely a top 10. Again, that's my opinion, but
right. I think they just saw that, Eddie and Dave were taken off as the stars, and they kind of just let that go. And it's been said a lot now that Alex is kind of like more the businessman behind the scenes, making things, choices, and figuring things out. So he was good with that.
Yeah. And it's but it's funny. I saw an interview, and to go off a little bit, with Eddie years ago, and somebody had said, or the interviewer asked Eddie, if I was to put the tablature of Eruption in front of you, would you know what to play? And he said no. So my point being is, like Hot for Teachers, some of those drum licks, like back then before tablature, people would struggle with that. It's right. That's drum licks, like any other licks, bass licks, guitar licks. Like if you didn't have the tablature and the help and the videos out, I mean, you'd struggle to get that stuff. And to me, that's impressive.
Right. And back in the day, you had to keep like rewinding your cassette or whatever back and forth. And that's what you had to do until like Guitar Magazine had the tab and stuff and different things like that. But that's how you had to figure it out back then.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, listen, there's so many musicians. Actually, there's musicians who probably pick it up that, the first time they heard it. Don't get me wrong. But I just think Alex, everybody, you're right. Everybody focused on Dave being the front man, and of course Eddie is Eddie. But to have that rhythm section behind Eddie, Michael Anthony and Alex is, I don't know. That's my drummer. That's my go-to.
Yeah. So in the big split, you stayed in the Van Halen camp and not the Dave camp when they had the big split. You stayed.
Nope. I went with Dave.
You went with Dave? I went with Dave too. Went with Dave too. I was, he was such the showman.
Yep.
And I just couldn't handle Sammy at that time, now, but,
and I'll go off, and that's another thing too. So Dave had, of course, there's Alex, and then Dave had Greg Bissonette, another one of my favorite drummers.
Right, exactly.
So, but it's not that I mean, to have that rock and roll attitude. I mean, that's what got me. Not only the music, but Dave. Dave was the front man. He was the loudmouth. He was the Toastmaster, whatever you want to call him, and that just kept you interested. But I liked Sammy Hagar when with Montrose and some of the older stuff, and in his project HSAS, which was a great project.
Right.
But there's some stuff that he did solo that just wasn't for me. And when he joined Van Halen, it wasn't even that the music was good. I mean, the music was good. It's just you're bitter because you were a David Lee Roth fan. I mean, really, let's be honest, But I followed Dave. I went with the Dave route. And now, to be honest, I listened to the Sammy or Van Hagar stuff, and it's good stuff. But for me, I like the dirtier, grittier Van Halen, which is what I think it is. It's two separate bands, and I
like the Fair Warning type of days and stuff like that.
Women and Children. See that? Yeah. Outside of one, if you had to ask which one's the best with Dave, one is by itself. One is by itself. But outside of that, Women and Children First to me is priceless. Yeah, I think it's one of the best albums they ever did. Yeah,
definitely a great album. So for a drummer, what's your go-to stuff? Do you have a go-to kit you like to use? Do you use certain cymbals, or what's your gear usually, or do you change it up sometimes?
I don't. It's funny. Ever since I've been in bands, and I'm talking way back when, I've used two kits. That's it. Yeah. I had a Yamaha Tour Custom kit that was awesome. and it was hand painted. It wasn't a shell. And I rode that thing for 25 years. I mean, that was a great set. And then it kind of broke down. And then I bought a PDP Maple custom kit, and I really like that. And I've had that for a while. And cymbals, I use Peisty, and not gonna lie, because Alex used Peisty, but I did try Zildjians, and excuse me, and I hit kind of hard, and I know there's other drummers hit harder than me, but I was cracking them quicker than I could keep them. But when I got to the Peisty Rudes, I rarely cracked them, so they were a heavier cymbal. But now I've changed over. What I did for the new album is I bought the I can't think of the 909 series, the 903 series, the color Peisties. So I have now black and red cymbals all sprinkled through the kit.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
That's got.
I went for the look instead of the sound.
Right. Yeah, but that's got to look definitely very cool.
It is cool. It really is, with the new logo that's on the new album I put on the drum head, and so yeah, I think it's pretty awesome.
Excellent. So you guys got any other plans? Any shows coming up? Any things you're looking at, or maybe you could give us hints towards, or is this stuff still in the works?
So, again, when the album came out, and it took a while, the album came out is coming out a little later than originally we had thought. But so the plan is to get the album out, spread the word as much as we can. Just had a call with our team today that, now the focus will be, probably starting in November, is starting to book shows. So that's but that's a tough, if you've been in this business and it, that's a tough thing to do, because we all have families, and there's not I don't think there's any secret in telling you there's not a lot of money in this business.
Right.
Leave for a month or two and not have a job, it's kind of tougher for us, but we'll navigate our way. We'll find our way and find some shows. So that is the next step. That's the next progression after we get this album out. And the album, which you're probably going to ask me, but I'll throw it out a little early. The album comes out a week from Friday on 10/27 is when the complete release is.
Yep. We got that information and we shared that with everyone. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be very cool. And like you said, I know it is very tough, booking shows, and everything's so expensive now. Travel's so expensive and everything. And it's got to definitely fit in to whatever your schedule is and what's going on, for sure, to do that. But yeah.
And we're gonna navigate. We've talked about maybe doing, we're talking about finding a tour. There is going to be some weeks we'll be on the road at some point in time. It's got to be right. It's got to be the right fix. We try not to rush into anything. We're really pretty methodical about the moves we make. You have to be,
Yeah.
So today's world, because music is a flashing light, because there's so much out there, and to keep everybody's attention.
Right.
Hard. So
yeah, definitely. So, and you guys are located in Virginia, right?
We're located in Richmond, Virginia. That's correct.
Yeah. So you play some dates and some shows out in your own area, I assume, right out there?
Not really.
Not too much.
Because we're an all original power hard rock band. And again, nothing wrong with that, but people want to hear covers, and we don't do covers.
Yeah, that is such the thing that's going on. We have two original bands that I can think of that are just, started around the Buffalo area in the last couple of years. And it's the same thing. It's really hard to break through with original material. You just got to kind of push the heck out of it. Yeah, people want to hear what they know. They want to hear covers, so it's just so hard for original music.
It is. But here's the problem. This is the only problem I have about that. I get it. Listen, we all know what we know, and we love what we know, and so on. But when you go out to these places, and I don't go out as much as I used to anymore, but when you go see a band and you talk to people, and it's like, hey, there's really no good music out there, and that's not true. There is a bunch of great music.
Oh yeah,
great bands out there.
Tons of bands are releasing music all the time. I get stuff from Frontiers, from DEKO, from all different places. Bands coming out, yeah.
Right, and so. Because it's not where it's easily accessible of turning a switch and it's on the radio, then there's no good music. There's plenty of it out there. You got to look. If you like hard rock, heavy metal, death metal, all the stuff that's not on the radio, it's out there on the internet, and there's a lot of it. And there's some great bands out there. You know, we'd like to think we're one of them, but I mean, I know doing some of the tours that we've done and the shows we've done, we've got to meet some other bands and good music, great music. So I would suggest somebody go look for it. It's there.
Yeah. So if folks want to check out more about you, where should they go? Should they check you out on Facebook or website, or where should they look you up?
Yeah, thanks. It's so we're redrainband.com, but it's RED, and as you can see on your screen, REDREIGN band. And if you look that up, it'll go, you'll see our website, Facebook, Instagram, we're on everything. There's videos. We've released 3 singles with 3 videos that don't look back with George Lynch. There's a great video we did about mental health that's called Here I Am, that's out. And then No Peace, No Love.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Dokken's booking some shows too, that he's going to be touring on a new album too. So, or Don's going to be putting out some stuff. And I know George is always working on projects. He's always got something new coming up. So maybe something can come up in that camp for you too. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know, we'd like to take any show we can, you know. So, you know, we're just, that's it. Again, you got to be methodical about it. You know, you don't want to just jump on something that may not work for the band, may not work for that, you know, the opener or the headliner doesn't want it, or, you know, so, but yeah, that's definitely, again, the next progressive step we're going to be taking, but we're very excited about getting the album out first. We really work, you know, not that we didn't work hard on the first one, but we really dug in on this one and we're very excited about it. I think people are going to like it. I think people are going to like it.
Very, very cool. So yeah, everyone, you can check out the new album, Don't Look Back, due out on October 27th from Red Rain. You can check that. And you guys are going to release it online as well and the streaming services, or?
I believe that's correct. Yep. That'd be a question for DEKO, but yes, my understanding, it's going to be released everywhere and you can get it on Spotify, Apple, you know, all the places that are downloadable music sites.
Very, very cool. All right. So we'll look forward to all that coming out from you. Sammy, so great for chatting with us today. Really appreciate it, man.
Hey, I appreciate your time. And I say this to everybody. Thank you so much for supporting bands like us, because if it wasn't for you guys and your shows, you know, it probably wouldn't get out there. So we thank you. And we appreciate you spreading the word for Red Rain.
Definitely, man. That's what we're all about. All right, Sammy, have a good night. Thanks so much.
You too, Robert. Take care. Thank you so much.